The house-to-house campaigns are done and the erection of billboards, posters and flags have all come to a halt as Belize has now added a milestone in its history books with Dean Barrow as the first Prime Minister elected for 3 consecutive terms, and with the United Democratic Party adding a three-peat victory to their resume. Oftentimes, once elections are done and a new government is in place, we sit back and watch how things unfold from there. Today, however, we take a look at the UDP's manifesto and what residents of Belize can anticipate in the years to come. The 22-page document speaks on various sectors and presents a 44-point list of things the Barrow administration plans to carry out in their 3rd term. The official launch of the UDP manifesto was done on Wednesday, October 21st, and we bring back the presentation made by the Prime Minister on the way forward upon their re-election. One of the main platforms that Barrow spoke of during his presentation was that of transparency and how the plans to ensure that the government spending can be seen and that every person gets a fair chance to bid on tenders for the government.
So that people can be certain that their money is being spent wisely, productively, and honestly. Transparency must be taken to a new level in this next term. We're going to pass a public procurement bill, a legislation that will become a public procurement act. And what this will do is to set out very clearly the principles that must guide how government procures goods, works, and services. These principles must guide not just the politicians, but the public officials, and must be there in order to act as a benchmarking sort of document, sort of vehicle, sort of instrument, sort of facility. So what the act will do, what the legislation will do, will be to facilitate the standardization of procurement practices across all procuring entities. When government money is being spent and contracts are being awarded, every citizen has a fair shot on the basis of merit of getting a chance to win bids. So what we're talking about is no less than a comprehensive blueprint for better public procurement practices on the basis of the international models.
Prime Minister Dean Barrow went on to present the vision of his administration as it pertains to the management of external debt, as well as other financial controls via the passing of bills in the House of Representatives.
We're also going to pass a public sector investment bill, and what this will seek to do is to promote a more efficient allocation of resources that government is investing with the aim of achieving benefits in the most cost-effective way possible. Then there's going to be a public finance management bill that will ensure accountable, effective, efficient, and economical management of the public finances of this country, all public resources covering the revenues, expenditures, assets, and liabilities. Then there's going to be a public debt management bill that will also incorporate features having to do with state guarantees, state borrowing. We're going to establish a debt management office in the Ministry of Finance. What we also plan to do by way of this legislation is to set a debt ceiling. It's not going to be easy to determine what precisely that ceiling is, but we're going to have a go at it. Because again, we never ever want to return to the bad old days when in fact we ended up having to confront this creature, this vampire known as the super bond.
Another area that the Barrow administration has great plans is in education. Patrick Faber has remained as the person at the helm of the education sector, and we will take you back again to his presentation done on October 21st for the UDP manifesto launch.
To sustain and surpass the gains we have made in delivering quality education and training for all, in the next UDP term we will focus on 4 cross-cutting themes: improving access, quality education at school and at home, integrating technology as a tool for learning, and education for employment. The UDP will focus on integrating early childhood development services across education, health and human development sectors for children from 0 to 3. We must start from them born. The UDP will implement a comprehensive nutrition in schools program. In order to improve access, your United Democratic Party will construct a minimum of 35 new schools, as you heard me announce in the House of Representatives. The UDP will make education affordable by eliminating, in some cases, or reducing fees for those with financial need, especially at the high school level. We will open more adult continuing education programs. Not that we haven't already done it. The only district, I believe, where we don't have an adult and continuing education program that is active is in the Orange Walk district, and we are working on that to come to Orange Walk Technical very, very shortly.
Prior to the general elections, Minister Faber did state that the government of Belize has allocated $70 million for the construction of new schools. As it relates to the development of teachers in the school, Minister Faber says that the education and training of teachers in an effort to get them to a certain level.
We will continue to strengthen our teacher education programs, and we will include with that, of course, those continuous professional development programs that are offered by the Ministry of Education in the summer, but we will try to find other means of developing our teachers professionally as well. And we will ensure that graduates of teacher training programs meet standards as measured by the Belize Teacher Proficiency License Exam. We have some teachers who got paper and no substance, you know. And so we have to make sure that they're at a certain level. We love our teachers. We want to see them to be at their best, and we want them to be delivering the best for our children across this country.
Interestingly, on October 21st, when Faber did his presentation on the future of education in Belize, he spoke of incorporating technology in the classroom. Just yesterday, he was given an addition to his portfolio, namely science and technology education.
We want to be integrating technology as well as a learning tool. And information and communications technology, ICT, offers ever-expanding opportunities to improve the effectiveness of classroom instruction, to access online education, and to prepare students to participate in technology-based service industries. Additionally, ICT can help teachers and students in rural areas to overcome the limitations of distance. The UDP, toward this end, then will expand the use of technology in education and will augment teacher training to build the education sector's capacity to integrate technology. The UDP will also increase the number of computers available to students and teachers, which will facilitate the use of e-textbooks and provide access to the vast knowledge and educational resources available via the internet.
Faber also mentioned that monies have already been allocated to upgrade all computer laboratories and schools across the country. He also made mention of the expansion of the Youth Apprenticeship Program, headed by Diane Finnegan. In our Wednesday's newscast, we will look forward into the plans presented in the UDP manifesto and what can be expected for the country.